Hi everyone, this is Kim from Embrace and Simplify You. How are you doing? It's almost Christmas and I wanted to do this video. I've been seeing quite a few people online talking about what they have read this year. And this video is just going to be the physical books that I read this year. There are only 5. One I read multiple times. These are the ones that I've finished reading. So here goes. You know, if you're interested in my vibe, I'm all about using my simple system to help us just manage our time and manage our money. That's just my passion. It's really what I thoroughly enjoy learning about and teaching. So back to the book. So the very first book I read, I started this book the beginning of the year. There is a planner that comes with the book, and the planner is quarterly, so you have to get 4 of them. I started the year taking, I think it was like a workshop that they did. I think it was over 3 days or 5 days, something like that. And because I signed up for the workshop, I got the first quarter of the planner for free. It's by Michael Hyatt and it's called Your Best Year, a 5-step plan for achieving your most important year ever. I liked the book. It's a good way of starting your year. If you've never done any kind of structured planning, I would say that it's a good book to read. I didn't use the planner that comes with this system because it was just too much for me. I just don't have the attention span to plan that in depth. Recommend the book. It helps you even focus on reflecting on the previous year. So that's one of the things that I really took out of this book, to just reflect, to reset. I recommend it. The other one I read was called Essentialism, and it's by Greg McKeown. I liked the book. I do recommend that you read it. How would I explain it? It's a book that requires you to really think. You know, he really breaks down what is essential, what is not essential. I'll be honest, to me, I think the repetition of this is essential, this is not essential, this is essential, this is not essential, it seemed repetitive, but it's a good book to read. And I think it really helped me start to recognize everything isn't essential. And when you make time for the things that you have identified as essential, it just makes your life easier to navigate. So I recommend it. Now, this book, Why Has Nobody Told Me This Before, by Dr. Julie Smith, I recommend this book. This is a great book. I really liked how she broke down just different things that we go through. You know, it just talks about if you are in a dark place, motivation, emotional pain, grief, self-doubt, fear, stress. And she's a clinical psychologist. I like the way she just simplifies the psychology of things. Then I read this book by Morgan Housel. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing the name incorrectly. It's called The Psychology of Money. I read this book 3 times this year. So the first time I read it through, and then the second time I read it and I took notes. And then the third time I read it and I stopped right before the beginning of chapter 14. I recommend this book. The one thing I really liked about the book was that Morgan didn't push his own ideas on anyone. I see why over 6 million copies have sold, because it gave me a different perspective too, because there definitely is a psychology behind money. There's some things about money that you're never going to understand why somebody does because of just their wiring, their upbringing. There's just so many factors. As much as we want to make money into just figures and numbers, it's deeper than that. So then the last physical book that I finished reading, this is called Arzika. It's by Adenike Adebayo Esho. It's a love story. It's a good book. I enjoyed reading it. I think I just really liked how she developed the characters. She's very descriptive, but not even just that. It's her attention to details when she is describing something. It's a nice love story. It's not in your face. It's not smut, thank the Lord. I definitely recommend that you read this book. So those are the ones that I read, physical books that I read this year. Okay, so in 2026, of course, I'm going to read The Psychology of Money. I've read this book. I read it a few years ago, probably almost 5. It's by Keith Cameron Smith, and it's called The 10 Distinctions Between Millionaires and the Middle Class. It's such a small book. I'm going to read it again. I read this book. It's a Christian book, and it's called Overcoming Life's Disappointment. It's by Harold S. Kushner. Learning from Moses how to cope with frustration. It just really put a lot in perspective. Like, I can't even imagine everything that Moses had to go through. I read this. It's by Brene Brown, and it's called The Gifts of Imperfection. I started this book a couple of years ago and I never finished it. It's called Better Than Before by Gretchen Rubin. It's a New York Times bestseller. And this is another book by Dr. Julie Smith, and it's called Open When. And it says, open when you're dealing with difficult people, when your friends are not your friends, when you're under pressure, when fear shows up, when you struggle to say no. That's when you should open this book and read it. I can relate to all of it. And then the other one, it's by Lovey Ajayi Jones. It's called Professional Troublemaker, the Fear Fighter Manual. When I started reading it, I thought it was interesting. I don't know, life happened and I just never got back to it. So, and then I have one more book, and this was written by, I honestly would call her like my mentor, even though that was never like an official thing. She was my boss in one of my jobs, and we just stayed in each other's lives. This is a book by Patricia Black. It's called Kiss It Up to God. I'm just so proud that she accomplished what she had set out to do for years and wrote a book. Those are the books that I read this year and the lineup for 2026. I want to get back into reading physical books. I hope this gives you some inspiration to read. I've always from, gosh, I think from when I was like 10, 11, I really got into reading. One, I was bored and I was such an introvert. And I had friends in school, but I just was not a social butterfly. And books were like escapism for me. I was able to just be somebody else. Reading really started the desire to write. And this 2026, the one thing that I know that I want to really try to do is improve my penmanship. I know that you can use recorders, you can use your phone, you can talk into your phone, and you can type and all that. But there's just something so special about writing that I enjoy doing, even though my handwriting is horrible. But I hope you found this entertaining. If you like my vibe, please join the fam. Please like, please subscribe. It helps my channel. And don't let fear hold you back. I was not going to record this video. I wanted to come looking a little bit more glam, having my space look more put together. But I have to stop caring and focus more on the doing. And I'm just proud that I did complete this video. So on that note, if no one has told you this today, you're valuable, you have purpose, you're more than enough, and on top of that, you're fabulous. Exactly the way you are. You are fabulous. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and I am so thankful for all of y'all. Bye, y'all.